like that. Okay, 6.2 liters. It gives you 440 horsepower, thereabouts, and same kind of torque. It's super good on the highway as well as the city. One of the things I really like that a lot of people don't realize is you came out of what were you driving today?
It was a Ram 1500.
The Ram 1500 to 2020. Okay. And did you ever have a Chevy before that? No, this is going to be your first Chevy?
Your first.
Okay. So the 5.3 is the engine we've had forever. The 6.2 came in about 2014, but recently with some of the upgrades they've done with like the active fuel management, they can cut out on the high country. It goes from like 8 cylinders, it can go all the way down to 2 cylinders. So it optimizes the amount of fuel that you're using. Whether you're on the highway, kicking it, you wouldn't even notice it. But on the highway, you're actually going to get better fuel economy than you would with the 5.3, and way better than you did with the Henry. No comparison. Okay. A couple of things I want to point to your attention. I mean, you mentioned that you had an accident, right? Your vehicle got totaled off. You're going to see that, like along here, you see these little dents, these little things, okay, and they're over there. That's by design. Okay, those are what they call crinkle points. So when if you're ever in, God forbid, don't ever want it to happen to you again. But if you ever are in an accident, at those crinkle points, the engine is designed to crunch up, okay? Because you're back there, we don't want any of this to get back there. So this engine is actually designed to just drop straight down. The front end crinkles up, and you're safe in the front. Not to mention all the airbags that are in there are going to keep you safe, okay? Bambi will be toast, but you'll be fine, okay? A couple other things that I always like to point out to people is 6.2, you're going to think that it's a loud engine. You're going to hear it, but mostly what you're going to hear is like just the nice stuff, but it's going to be quiet enough. And a couple of reasons for that is the padding up here and at the back, okay? So it keeps the engine noise here rather than you not being able to hear yourself. If you really want to hear, open the windows up here because it is kind of nice and rapid. The other thing that it does, I don't know if you've ever seen like in the olden days, those cars, like not even that old, probably like 15, 20 years ago, you get those cars driving around where the front end is all kind of like peeling. You remember that? You see that? You know why that happens?
What is that?
Heat. So the heat from the engine comes up and it causes the paint to go. See on tons of cars, but with that blanket in there, it actually keeps the heat in there, so your vehicle will look as pristine today as it will 10 years from now. That's not such a bad thing, is it? Right? Okay. And the tow hooks, everybody thinks it's if you get stuck, but let's be honest, you're a good driver, you're never going to get stuck. That's to pull your Fords out. Okay, so you have a buddy, they got a Ford, that's going to pull those things out. We got the LED lights, okay, so super good visibility. Plus the front end, that's unique to the high country because it is the top of the line trim level. Oh, and here, that's now you're unlucky. We got a cord for you, so you don't have to, dangle your cord here and regulate, because probably you've seen that when you trade damages it. You just plug it in there. Super easy. You got your parking assist, and it's got everything. Come on over here, I'm going to show you a couple other things. Okay, so we got the chrome wheels. Now, the nice one thing that you can't see is you notice how your rotors there are perfectly silver and there's no rust on them. Like I think your Dodge probably had some rust on it after a while. You leave it sit just a little bit. So that's because these are, can't remember the name, but they coat them in like nitrogen. Okay, so they're, I want to say, I have a name in my head, but it's wrong. But it's a process that they coat them in nitrogen that extends the Duralife rotors. So it actually extends the life of the rotors, so which means you're not going to have to replace your brakes as often. Plus, it's not going to look ugly. It's always going to look good. In fact, it gives you, I don't want to say twice as long, but it gives you tons more life on your brakes than what it would on a regular truck. So upkeep costs are super low down, which is good for you since you have your kids in hockey and all the other things. Am I right? Okay, sounds good. We got obviously the steps on it. We got, if I had a magnet, give me a magnet. Check this out. Let me show you something. It doesn't stick. You know why it doesn't stick? It's aluminum. Okay, so aluminum isn't bad. Like I know everybody is giving Ford the crap because they got aluminum in the bed, but you don't want aluminum. Okay, so with the Chevy, you have aluminum in the places where you need it, but you also have the high strength steel and everywhere that it counts. So we got steel, and there's like 4 different kinds of steel. They got high strength steel, they got compound steel for structural integrity, just durability. So in all the places that you got it, and where you don't need it, where it's just light. See? Check it out. Check it out. Now, this is like probably got who's got the keys? Oh, it's probably not working because the button doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so right now you can open it up just on your key fob, as well as in the truck I'll show you. You can open it. Spray it off. The beautiful thing about the high country is pretty much everything that's on this truck came from factory. So you're not adding a whole bunch of stuff, which is kind of nice because it keeps your costs low. So I'm sure you probably don't take all your kids sporting at the same time, but if they were doing the lacrosse and if they were doing the hockey and the golf, you could fit all of their gear in here and still have space for everybody to sit. Plus the timeout case. There's like a ton of timeout case more than anywhere else. Each one's rated for like 500 pounds or 2,000 pounds. So really you're going to be able to tie down, nothing's going anywhere. But you got so no problems there. Towing, no problems. You got your 4. What do you got here? You got 2, and this is a lot different than the last time I sold a truck. You used to have 4 and 7. Now it's what? These are your camera partners?
What an idiot that guy in the white truck is,
You
eh?
can even have a camera for your trailer, which is the amazing thing. And back there is where you get your spare tire, okay? So if you ever do have a spare, it's just right up underneath. It's maximized all your space. I love the steps. Ford and Ram are finally copying us, which is fine. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, okay? But how nice is it to just be able to pop up and grab something instead of having to crawl and get yourself over and something like that, okay? Let's check out the back seat. Not that you're ever going to be in the back seat, but go ahead and sit in there. You're a pretty big guy. How's the space? Okay. And so you got the sorry. Who cares? It's just up here. Which is nice. You pull it out once you get out. It just pulls down or sideways. And then there's underneath your seat. It just pops up too. So if you're coming out, you can pop up your seat. Just go ahead and just give it a touch. There you go. 60-40 split. So there's yours for your spare tire, and then your block heater cord. It's right on. Okay. All right. Here, hop in.
Me?
Yeah, hop in. I'm gonna hop in the other side. Show you. Go ahead, start her up. And all you gotta do is step on the brake, push the button.
Okay. Easy as that.
How does that sound? Pretty sound, eh? Okay, step on the brake. I just want to show you the high definition. So we got the bigger screen, so that's relatively new. I love it because one of the things that I really like about this is like with the Ram, I found that like it was this big screen. It was super bright. I found it to be very distracting. Whereas with this, the lighting is a lot less, and even though it's big, it doesn't take over my line of sight. And you get to be my age, and it gets to be harder to multitask. And so this is super easy, but at the same time, is you still have all your buttons, so you can do all of the things you want to do with volume and tuning and everything with your climate control without having to go in there and try and find out where it is. But if you want to go in there and find out, I mean, there are so many tons of options. You do climate, you do all your trailering, all your settings, everything is in there to do if you like. You can set your screen up however you want as well. There's 3 different modes from just how it's displayed. One's like a clean, one's a digital, and you just find all those with your knobby things here, okay? And you can go in and just find your info page options, go back. It's really self-explanatory. When you go through it, you just, if it's got an arrow, click, it'll do different things for you. You can go right over here, and there you go, display layout, click down. Change it, go ahead. Now it changed it all.
That's pretty cool.
Right? You can even display, you can even tell it what things you want to look at when you are looking at the thing. So you can add different things to the sides depending on what you want. Like I always like to have the fuel economy and my tire pressure, but maybe you don't want to know what your fuel economy is. It'll be really good, by the way. It's between 10 and 11 on the highway and probably around 15 in the city. Yeah, on average. Unless you drive like me, then it might be higher. Yeah, so tons of stuff that you can play around with. You're gonna have OnStar. So OnStar is unique to the GM world. You've probably seen some of the commercials, you know, where you get in an accident and OnStar comes on. You're gonna have a free trial, but you're also gonna have the ability to start and your truck remote start on your phone for 3 years. Okay, give you all your info, which is nice. I mean, you go traveling, you're up at the cabin in the winter and stuff like that, pulling your trailer. Oh, 7,000 pounds, what you said, right?
Yeah, about that.
This will pull easy, that, like 9,900 pounds. Yeah, so you won't have any issues pulling that. You'll want to know about that. That's your trailer brake, so it's all down there. But yeah, start your truck wherever you want, from anywhere in the world, just on your phone. You'll have that included with the vehicle for 3 years at no charge. How's it sound so far? You ready to take it for a drive, see what it does?
Let's give her.
Let's give her a go. Okay, brother. We're cut. We're out.